Hello there and welcome to part 11 of my 2010 TNA save. We are in Georgia today, the Hannah Fieldhouse. And of course we've got our traditional pre-show ramble, which is basically something in the background so I can sit here and chat to you guys. I don't particularly have too much to say, I just kind of do this by default. And normally I think of something, but I'm not thinking of anything today. So I'm just going to quickly chat about... So obviously last episode, we spoke mostly about the Bully Ray problem. This episode is all about remembering things which happened, which got derailed. So the opposite of the Bully Ray problem. This is solutions. Last week was problems. This week is solutions. Let's get in. And we kick the show off with Sting and Hulk Hogan chatting to each other, and Sting basically says he wants Bobby Lashley in tonight's main event. Sting's been the tag team partner of Jeff Hardy recently, so it fits. But Sting wants Lashley in tonight's main event, and it is made official by Hogan. Well, you've seen it already in the thumbnail, though. Tonight's main event is Sting versus Bobby Lashley. Now that is a big-ass match. Jeff Jarrett gets a really quick victory over Raven. It's basically a squash match. Raven can't do stamina. He can't do more than like 10 6-minute matches at this point. So they need to be squash matches with him. And I'm not going to have him winning squash matches. Raven's great. In 2010, it's time to move on. 38 rating though. It's terrible, for being honest. Jeff Jarrett gets a 59. Which I am actually quite happy with, as he heads getting some wins up before he tries to challenge Samoa Joe. I've realised I've just double clicked. I skipped past a segment which was Hogan again, and he's basically announcing that next week Rob Van Dam and Rick Victor will team up again. We're going to have to quickly brush over that because I skipped it. But we've got this match here. He was local to the area, so I thought I'd bring him in for one night. AJ Styles versus Kid Kash. Goes 9:26, quite short, but high tempo. AJ wins with the spiral tap. It's a classic X Division style match for, well, one of the guys who is very much ingrained in our world title picture now. 66 rating though. Pretty happy with that. And Kid Kash is still pretty good actually, getting a 51. At the age of 40, that's pretty good. Desmond Wolfe comes out for his match, but AJ Styles, rather than going to the back, joins the commentary team for the next match. 72 rating. And his match against another star of the early X Division, Desmond Wolfe versus Matt Bentley. Gets a 61. Wolfe gets a 71 compared to Bentley's 37, which is a lot worse than the other people. But it's a decent match. It's, again, a similar style matchup for both Wolfe and Styles back to back. This rivalry isn't vicious yet. I mean, the British Invasion have barely got involved in this. This has very much been a case of Wolfe and Styles are both great wrestlers, and they kind of respect each other for that. Even though, well, Wolfe's just not respected Kurt Angle in his last feud. It's a different feud. Wolfe is the same character. It's just a different part of his character. This is the part of him which wants to be the best no matter what. And the other part of him is the part which isn't sure he is the best, so he cheats. What we got next? X Division champion Amazing Red is in the ring, and he gets interrupted by the Machine Guns, with Alex Shelley still back in a sling because he's realised they're not going to be able to overturn the result, so he's actually going to deal with his injury. Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi's in Japan, and Paul London. And basically they're putting their name in the hat for an X Division title shot at the night which showcases the X Division most. Ultimate X. No. Destination X. You'll understand the slip of the tongue in a second. And basically, Amazing Red says, you know what? Okay, X Division rules. You three, Sabin, Omega, London, have a match. The winner faces me at Destination X. And the match goes 20 minutes. If I just... And it's a draw when the time limit expires after 20 minutes. Sabin and London, much better than Omega. Omega was in the 39s, but obviously got potential. We know this. Gets a 52. So, what does this mean? Hogan comes out and says, you know what, brother? A winner couldn't be found in 20 minutes, which means you're all worthy. You're all great competitors. So all three of you will challenge the Amazing Red for the X Division title at Destination X in an Ultimate X match. We're going back to the six-sided ring for a night. We're bringing in the scaffold. The title is going to be hung in the middle, and it's going to be Paul London, the Amazing Red, Chris Sabin, and Kenny Omega. And there we go. We can add that match to our officially announced card. We've currently got Beer Money versus the Kings of Wrestling, and the Amazing Red versus Chris Sabin versus Kenny Omega versus Paul London for the X Division title. There's obviously going to be a lot more matches are going to be added, a lot more higher paced the closer we get to the pay-per-view. We've still got 2 more episodes of Impact after this. And whilst you can see where some of the matches are going, I don't want to announce them super early. But this is one we can actually announce. As in a tag team match, Awesome Kong and Alyssa Flash defeat Amy Dumas and Molly Greenwald when Awesome Kong pins Molly Greenwald with the sit-out powerbomb. And over this match, in the commentary, it is announced officially that at Destination X, we're going to have Awesome Kong versus Amy Dumas for the TNA Knockouts Championship. And I was supposed to pause the recording there, so that's awkward. That looks like it's going to be a fun match. And I'm now going to hurry up because I've wasted a lot of time. And the main event. Bobby Lashley versus Sting. It's a 67. Not amazing, but Sting in 2010. You know, he's getting on. But Bobby Lashley picks up the victory when he makes Sting tap out to the Dragon Sleeper after he's been hit on the head with a microphone by a masked man who's back from injury. At the end of the match, he takes his mask off, and it's Mr. Anderson. It's the match. It's the feud which was started back in January, but Mr. Anderson had to go away with an injury for a bit, which led to the weird Sting and Jeff Hardy versus Christopher Daniels and Rhino feud. But now, after Bobby Lashley attacked Jeff Hardy last couple of weeks ago, Mr. Anderson attacks Sting here, and Bobby Lashley and Mr. Anderson celebrate together in the ring. They are aligned. Daniels and Rhino will be involved in this as well. This is just a new top-level heel faction. Anderson, Lashley, Daniels, and Rhino. If you've got any ideas for names for that faction, please let me know in the comments down below. So got a 72 for the main event segment. So what do we think the overall score got? Let's find out. And it gets a 72. pretty good stuff. I mean, we had Hogan in 4 segments, which all got over 80 for angles. We also got 2 other 70 plus angles. Our matches were less good, with Jeff Jarrett and Raven being awful. But it is 2010. We now know pretty much more directions for Destination X. And now, what did you guys think? 72, is that fair? Do you think this show deserved better or worse? I'll let you be the judge of that, because you're the real ratings here. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.